Hello, it's Rebecca and welcome back. As many of you know, BTS came back with their new album BE last week, and I was so incredibly excited and emotional for their new album. I recently did a lettering and review of 17's Semicolon comeback, and as BTS's music has always brought me a lot of happiness and comfort, I decided that I really wanted to letter the song titles for this album as well. I'll review and talk a little bit more about BE as I draw, so let's get started. Prior to filming, I listened to the album on repeat and sketched out where I wanted the song titles to go in order to get the spacing right, as well as to have an idea of what style fonts I wanted to use for each song title. I decided to use a light blue and gray for the color scheme of this page, partially because of the song Blue and Gray, but also because I wanted a calm and comforting color scheme to match the album. And here I'm just starting to draw the logo for BE with the BTS logo behind it. So BE. Where do I even begin? This album is unique because all of the members were more actively involved in all aspects of making the album besides just the writing of the music. They said that they had always talked about one day putting their own songs into an album, filming the music video, and also shooting the jacket, and I'm really happy that they finally had the chance to do that for this album. They chose BE as the title of the album because BE is a verb that is very vague, and they wanted the album to talk about a lot of different things. When deciding on the concept for this album, they decided to just write about how they were feeling in the moment, and they wanted to cheer up and comfort all the listeners of this album with their music. This album was obviously worked on throughout the pandemic, so BTS spreads a message of hope and encourages us not to give up because life goes on. One thing that I love about music is that you don't have to understand the message of the song or the music video to enjoy it. Namjoon once said that music transcends languages, and I think that all of the raw emotions that the members of BTS show through their voices and their music brings a sincerity that is able to touch the hearts of the listeners. This album really shows off the versatility and talent of BTS. Plus, all of the songs have different feels to them, so I think everyone will be able to find a song that they like from this album. Hoseok talks about how overwhelmed and thankful they feel to their fans, and they are constantly thinking about how they can ever return the amount of love that they receive. BTS has always been about their fans, and they are always looking for ways to make their fans smile and feel good. I think that this album is just that. It brings a sense of comfort, nostalgia, and longing, but at the same time, it shows us that it's okay to have frustration and sadness, and to feel lost in this roller coaster of a year. I'm really happy that all of the artists that I love got a chance to take a rest and to focus on and grow themselves, but I can't even begin to imagine how hard it must have been for them to not be able to see their fans. I was really fortunate with the pandemic to still have a job that I could work effectively at despite being remote, but for musicians, it must have felt extremely disorienting. Seokjin talked about how concerts and performing used to be part of his life, so it felt like a part of his life disappeared when they couldn't hold concerts. I just know that all of the members of BTS are eager to meet ARMY again soon. I was originally supposed to see them in concert a couple of times this past spring while they were touring in America, so I definitely cannot wait until I can see them again too. Now let's get on to lettering the song titles. The first one that I'm lettering is Dynamite, which is the last song on this album. The song was previously released as a single in August, but I love that they decided to include it in this album. I just love how positive and uplifting this song is, and I get so much energy and happiness from listening to it. This is also their first fully English song, which makes it very easy to sing along to. Namjoon equates Dynamite to a finale song and says it'd be like how they set off fireworks after their concerts. I tried to go for a more retro font with a heavy drop shadow because of the disco pop style of the song. Stay is a unit song formed by Namjoon, Seokjin, and Jungkook, and all three of them participated in writing the lyrics. It was initially a song Jungkook wrote for his mixtape, but Taehyung encouraged him to play the song for everyone, and then the song ended up being picked for this album. I love that the message of the song is that despite being far apart from each other right now, BTS and ARMY are always together. I'm really thankful these days that we're able to connect with people all over the world because of technology. Even though Stay is an EDM song, the concept of staying together made me want to use a connected script font. After that, I just drew a simple thin line drop shadow. The next song that I'm lettering is Fly to My Room. This is the other unit song on the album formed by Yoongi, Hosok, Jimin, and Taehyung. This is a very fun but chill song about traveling around your room, especially since we couldn't travel during the pandemic. I can just imagine laying in my bed watching a ceiling fan spin while listening to this song. My favorite lyrics in this song are "Sometimes we get to know broken is beautiful," and then a line that translates to "This room is too small to contain my dream." I just love how those lyrics capture a lot of what BTS has always been about since debut, as they've always had big dreams and have been promoting the Love Myself campaign. For this lettering, I drew a paper airplane going around the song title, and I decided to use this bold serif font for the words fly and room. Moving on, I chose a script font with blue and gray drop shadows for probably my favorite song on the album, Blue and Gray. The song is really unique because it starts off with just the acoustic guitar and the emotions from the vocals. In general, I love ballads, but I loved this one even more because of the emotions that the members all poured out when singing this song. Taehyung originally wrote this song in English for his mixtape, but the members loved it so much when they heard it that he decided to try and change the lyrics to Korean, and Blue and Gray ended up fitting perfectly with this album. It has a bit of a melancholy tone as the lyrics are about burnout and the feelings of being blue and gray. Taehyung said that he wrote the lyrics at one of his lowest points when he was questioning whether or not he could keep going with his work and was wondering why he wasn't happy at the current point in time. The lyrics that absolutely break my heart are the ones where, translated, Taehyung sings, "I just wanna be happier, I wonder if this too is too selfish." There is another line that happens pretty soon after which translates to, "Don't say that you're okay because you aren't." In the past, I always told myself that I could hide my emotions when I was stressed by just putting a smile on my face, but the lyrics encouraged me to not let myself just drown in those emotions by myself. This song provides a lot of comfort through the soothing voices of the members because it doesn't tell you to just cheer up, but calms you into recognizing that it's okay to be vulnerable and to have these emotions and insecurities. The last thing that I want to add about this song is that the acoustic guitar melody from the beginning stays as a constant throughout the song and makes the song feel like you have a steady rock to hold on to. And in the background when the music builds, you can also hear a heartbeat, which adds to the warmth and healing of this song. I wasn't initially planning on including a lettering for Skit, but I'm so incredibly proud of BTS right now because they were nominated for a Grammy, and they had recorded the skit when they had won first place on the Billboard Hot 100 chart for the first time with Dynamite. I love that we get to hear their genuine emotions and excitement from that moment in time. The members of BTS are so humble and never forget to thank ARMY and affirm that it was only possible with the love and care of their fans. I decided to draw this banner kind of like a blue ribbon you would receive for first place. I later went in with a white pen around the banner. I also want to say that the tracklist of BE was ordered in such a beautiful way. The songs before Skit are all comforting and reflective, but then hearing that they top the Billboard chart is an instant mood booster, which leads into the more upbeat songs to distract us from quarantine. So to BTS, congratulations once again for first on the Billboard chart and for your Grammy nomination. I'm so proud and love you all so much. The next song, Telepathy, is a funky retro pop disco song that Yoongi produced. It's very upbeat and happy and describes that BTS is the happiest when they are with ARMY. It's the sad reality that right now BTS can't be with ARMY around the world, but it contains the hope that even though they aren't with fans right now, that we are all still connected. I went for a very simple kind of bubbly handwritten font and shaded the inside of some of the letters with the blue and gray before drawing an arrow underneath. The arrow doodle goes along more with the lyric like an arrow in the blue sky from Life Goes On, but I think that the doodle fit perfectly here. The next song, Disease, is one that Hosok worked really hard on, and it kind of sounds like BTS took a trip into Hope World because of the upbeat hip-hop vibe. He said that the song started from the idea that every person has their own disease, and for him it was that he couldn't fully enjoy the rest he was forced to take during the pandemic and felt very uneasy. The English title Disease is actually written with a hyphen, so it could also be read as dis-ease and have the meaning of uneasiness. I think that the title is so clever. This song is still positive and hopeful though, and I decided to letter it in bubble letters with a gray outline. I also later went in with a white pen to add some highlights to this song title. The final song title from this album is the title track Life Goes On. It reminds me a lot of when Spring Day was their title track. BTS is very sincere and isn't trying to sugarcoat the fact that this year was hard on everyone, but rather they know that it has been hard and they want to do everything that they can to cheer us up and to encourage us to keep moving on. This song feels like the warmest hug and comfort. Kind of like the song title, the melody of the song flows really smoothly and is very gentle and calming. Not to mention that the harmonies and ad-libs from the vocal line are just magical. I get so many chills every time I listen to this song, and I can definitely play this song on repeat. Yoongi wrote this beautiful line that translates to, "People say the world has changed, but thankfully between you and me, nothing has changed." This perfectly describes the relationship between BTS and ARMY, and I'm so thankful to BTS for this healing song. The other thing I want to point out with Life Goes On is the music video because Jungkook directed it. The music video is very sentimental and authentic due to the color grading and the natural scenes of the members going about their daily life. I feel like Jungkook filmed all of the members perfectly and captured the feeling of nostalgia and longing. The last scene where they are singing on the empty stage with all of the ARMY bombs lit up in the background was the point that hit home for me just how much BTS is longing to see ARMY. In spirit of this song, I decided to letter the song title in the shape of an infinity sign because if something is infinite, it means that it's endless. And I think it captured the meaning of how life goes on despite the uncertainties of life and how we'll continue to reach towards the future. Finally, I finished this page off with some final touches with the white pen and the gray and blue markers. I didn't want to add too many extra doodles to the page because I wanted to keep this pretty simple like the album cover and to make sure I didn't overcrowd any of the song titles. I hope that all of you are able to keep life simple and that you are all hanging in there. Alright everyone, I had a lot of fun streaming the new album while drawing this lettering page. Let me know in the comments what your favorite song was and what you thought of the album. Please love and support BTS BE a lot. Everyone take care and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!